Hey everybody, it's Mark T, and I'm here trying to make a new show on my channel, which is basically, like, think of anime talk, um, except this is going to be about cartoons. I've decided to call it Cartoon Call It, which, is a term in itself, but what I remember it from is the animated Disney show Recess, so I'm just gonna call it that since it doesn't seem to have any specific rights or uses as of yet. So this is Cartoon Call It. Now the first animated show, let me just explain what it's gonna be about. Um, the show is essentially gonna be all about animated series, like I don't know, basically anything Ninja Turtles, like any cartoon series or animated movie. I realize I haven't talked about any anime movies in Anime Talk, but that's for later on, whenever I get the chance. So that's essentially what Cartoon Call Out is going to be about. So first cartoon to talk about is South Park. Now I realize this is only the DVD for the movie. I don't actually own any DVDs of the season of South Park, but it's something that's been on my mind lately, so let's talk about South Park. Now, if you do not know about South Park, anything about South Park, if you've never heard of this South Park before, South Park is essentially this show that's about four students with some pretty bad mouths, essentially living life and going through some many, many ridiculous adventures. It's up to, I think, 19 seasons. I'm not actually sure. Um, but it's quite a popular show. Some people enjoy it, some people don't. But if I am to be perfectly honest, this show is one of those shows that has never been that certain level of bad. It hasn't, like, this is me personally, this is my own personal opinion. This is the only show I've seen that never went to that point, like Family Guy or Simpsons or American Dad or The Cleveland Show. It's never had like that downfall from like the really great start that it had. And I honestly really love this show. The four main characters are four young boys: Stan, Kyle, Kenny, and Cartman. And essentially, that's what the show focuses on. It starts out somewhat normally with just an episode. First episode is about aliens, and gradually develops into crazier plots. Now, sometimes they have simple plots, sometimes they have complex plots, but nothing so complex that it would be like it would give you a headache. Just simple stuff. And they've even released video games. Just this past year, they released an amazing video game called South Park Stick of Truth. That's essentially uh, the person playing it plays a character of their own to play within the game, and it's honestly very, very fun and cool game. Um, it's kind of hard to go beyond here. The show has so many ridiculous things in it. My first introduction to this show was actually when I was, um, 9 years old, and I constantly heard my brother and sister um, hearing it, watching it downstairs. But when I was really young, I could not stay up until 9 o'clock, and that wasn't like a parental rule. This show was on Fridays, so you know, if at any time I could have the chance to stay up and watch it, it would be then. But I would always end up falling asleep very early for some reason, and that was just what happened. When I did end up seeing the show, I absolutely loved it, and it's overall, yet again, a very good show. It has very simple animation, which you'd think would be bad, but it's done in such a way, and like the animation has improved gradually, but it's still stuck to the simple look and concept of the show. Now there are a bunch of characters that appear in the show aside from the four leads. My own personal favorite character is Stan's father, Stan right here. Stan's father, Randy Marsh, who is by far what I consider to be the best character in this show because he is so different from every parent. He can be serious about things that don't seem like you should be serious about. He can be ridiculous about things that are not ridiculous at all. An example is in this one episode called Efton A. I'm pretty sure you can guess what that's all about. Stan loses. Well, Stan and his friends lose to a dancing match and are owned, as it were. And Randy gets all pissed off because Stan didn't dance back. So he essentially makes Stan go into the garage and teaches him how to dance just because he got owned. It's that kind of ridiculous writing that I honestly love about this show. But who am I kidding? Anyone watching this probably has already seen this show. So if you haven't, go check it out. They're on their newest season right now, so you can go check that out when you can. Anyway, that's it for now, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Later.